What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Lots to talk about in the world of football.
A whole lot.
A lot of tournaments are wrapping up.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk about that. The FA Cup, the Champions League, the, Europa League, I guess, La Liga, all the leagues. We'll talk about all of them. Let's get into it. This is What the Football. All right, Judah.
So,
I guess let's start with the FA Cup. Should we start with the FA Cup? Where should we start?
yeah, let's start with the FA Cup.
It's fresh in our minds. Well,
Yes.
specifically in your mind. I barely watched any of it, but I did catch the end of the United Coventry game, which was crazy. Can I tell you this? Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the beginning of it. Okay. And I was like kind of falling asleep, but anyway, I'm watching it. And United go up like 2-0.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is done.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Okay. I didn't watch any of it after that.
Okay.
And then out of curiosity, I go back to the app, TOD. Shout out to TOD, which is really good.
Okay.
If you're in this part of the world.
Okay, I was gonna say something back. Keep quiet. Move on. That's just fine. I was gonna say something about TOD, but move on.
I mean, this is your chance.
Nah, it's alright. So it could go either way,
Okay.
depending on who hears it. It could
Fair,
go either way.
fair,
Yeah,
fair,
so
fair.
let's keep quiet.
Now I'm concerned.
Don't worry.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway, scratch the TOD stuff. But
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, I go to watch. What happened,
Yeah.
and it's like 3-3,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, what happened?
They say it's the magic of the FA Cup.
I guess
That's
so.
what they say.
I guess so. Anyway, so you now tell us
Well, okay, let's start with that
what
game.
the heck happened.
Yeah, let's start with that game. No, let's start with Saturday's game.
Oh boy.
City Chelsea.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Let's start with
Yes.
Saturday's game.
Yes, I keep forgetting that match happened.
It did happen.
It was
did
an FA
happen.
Cup semi-final, but it felt like a Premier League match.
Well, it did. It did. So first of all, I feel like it was a good game to watch.
Okay.
Many teams play against City and just go on the defensive.
True.
Chelsea did not.
Mm.
At some points in the game, yes, they had men behind the ball, but they didn't do that. They actually had much more chances than City did. They should have won the game.
There was one beautiful chance, man, where
Which one?
Jackson
'Cause he had
was
more than
just
one. Which one?
Well, he basically all he needed to do is go around the keeper and just hit it.
There was one he did. He went around the keeper and then decided to not take the shot.
That was the one I'm talking
And
about.
I think that was because he saw maybe one or two persons on the line. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why
but
are you
still-
bringing the ball back?
Yeah,
You've gone around the keeper. Just hit
just go
it.
for it. Just go for it.
Just hit it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Anybody who's going to save the ball has two options. Use his head or his leg. Or any part of the body he can use. Because if he uses his hand, it's a red card.
Yep.
But for some reason, he didn't. So he goes around the keeper. He comes back. I just think about it. I'm like, wow, this is serious.
This is a wasted chance.
There are so many points in the game where I had issues with the decision making of the Chelsea players, especially the attacking players.
Yep. Even at one point, one of the commentators specifically about Jackson, right after that specific chance, they were like, yeah, we've seen this time and time again this season. His decision making,
Yeah, decision
It's
making.
very, like, not
wasn't the
confident.
best. It wasn't the best. Now, not just for him. I think I would say in the attacking play generally, I felt like that was an issue. So even towards the end of the game, Chile comes on, Sterling comes on. Chile has the ball on the side of the pitch and could just square it into Sterling. He takes an extra touch, takes another touch. By the time he takes the third touch, Diaz has blocked the way to get the ball to Sterling.
Yeah.
So you look at that and you go, yeah, that's decision making. It's not just great.
Yeah.
But was it a good game to watch? I think it was. I enjoyed it in the sense that, yes, definitely I wanted Chelsea to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Chelsea are that kind of team that one way or the other just find a way to just keep it alive. And it's annoying because I feel like this is the same story with Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. You have chance after chance. You don't take it towards the end of the game. the opposition take theirs, and the game is over.
Yep.
So I don't feel like Chelsea are, in the past 3-4 seasons, I don't think they've enjoyed going to Wembley. Because every time they have gone to Wembley recently, well, not every time, but at least every time they've played like a domestic final or something, they've not won it.
Yep.
And those things happen in Wembley. So it's just sad. But shout out to City. They played this game 3 days after going to penalties against Real Madrid.
Yep.
So I was actually surprised why the Chelsea City game wasn't played on Sunday and the United Coventry game played on Saturday.
Yep. Yep.
Seeing that City had to play on Wednesday night, 120 minutes, and then penalties. So even Holland wasn't available for this game.
No, yeah, he had picked up something.
Yeah, so Holland is not available. You have Bernardo Silva, who went all the way to penalties. You have Akanji, who went all the way to penalties.
I think De Bruyne
didn't go all the way. I think he got taken off after 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That's in the Champions League. And then you have Ederson played the second leg, but then Ortega played the semi-final game. But you could still see, Kyle Walker played the Champions League game also. So I felt like now people might go, oh, that was a bonus for Chelsea, but I really didn't mind.
Yeah.
I think it's better to have a good game of football where everybody's properly rested.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So why not just play Chelsea City on Sunday?
Yep.
Why play it on Saturday? But shout out to City, they're in the final again.
Yep.
And they play United again, just as last season. So sad for Chelsea, but what to do?
Yep. Pep was really furious about that, by the way.
Oh, I don't blame him.
He was like, this is unacceptable. Like, we can't.
Players are humans.
Yep. Which shout out to him, like, for showing care for the players. I think
players are human. I think it's unfair.
But he was not happy, and he was like, why, like, same concern as you said, like, why is this match not tomorrow and the other match? Because he's like, Chelsea, United, and Coventry,
they don't have midweek.
Yep.
They don't have any midweek games to play. Or they didn't have midweek games to play.
Yeah.
And I agree with him.
Yep.
Now you could go, but Arsenal Chelsea is Tuesday. That's the list of the problems.
Yep.
That's the list of my problems.
Yep.
Because towards the end of the year, Christmas, New Year, you play like 3 games in 8 days.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying that's ideal? No. But at least try to consider a team like City, who are in the title
multiple
race,
tournaments,
in the UCL, in the FA Cup. Come on, give the guy a break.
I will say this, though. I'm not sure Pep would be saying that had they won the Real Madrid match.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think it would change anything. Because if
it doesn't change the fact that should be something that
it should be considered. Yeah.
However, I don't know. That's my thought.
Right. I agree with him on this one.
I do. Yeah.
I agree with him on this one.
Too.
I feel like, yes, I know Chelsea. Then I think what you could do is play the City Chelsea game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Play the Arsenal Chelsea game on Wednesday.
That too, yeah.
So
I don't know who makes these calls. I mean, they said they were saying that, maybe it's the broadcasters, so I'm guessing that's them, but still, I feel like they can.
It's the same stadium.
Yeah.
It's just 24 hours difference.
Yep.
One game is Saturday, one game is Sunday.
Yep. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it is
how they get to those things.
Yeah, but let's talk about the Coventry United game.
Yeah, that was the big, very interesting game.
Yeah, that was a roller coaster of a game, as a friend of mine said. So you are correct. By halftime, United are 2-0 up. You feel like it's done and dusted. It gets worse for Coventry in the sense that in the second half, Bruno makes it 3. At that point in time, you feel like, Kalas.
Game's over.
Game's over. But then I feel like Coventry started the game with so much respect for United. They played 3 centre-backs, back 5, all of them. So they had little to nothing going forward. And then United ran over them. So by the time I think the coach looked at it and went, well, what to do? Already 3-0 down anyway.
Yeah.
He makes those substitutions. I think he brings 3 people on: Tavares, I think Top, and one other guy, Da Silva, I believe. And he changes the formation. He goes to 4 at the back, expansive. And then United look like a different team.
Yep.
Now, you could say it's fatigue, but I don't think it is, because they didn't play anything in the midweek, as Pep said. You could also say it's injuries, which I give some level of acceptance to that, in the sense that he started Maguire and Casemiro as a centre-back pairs. So he doesn't have Lindelof, he doesn't have Martinez, he doesn't have Varane, he doesn't have, what's the guy's name? Kwambwala or someone. So I see that. But it's hard to explain this to a United fan that Manchester United were pegged back to 3-3 after leading 3-0 at Wembley against Coventry. I think it's hard.
Yep.
I think it's really hard. Because as at the time he made those changes, they went back, they went to 4 at the back. It felt like every time they went forward, they could get a goal.
Yeah, and they did 3 of them.
Exactly. So you are correct. They did get 3 goals, and that was just, for the neutral, it was a great game to watch. So I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I would not deny that. It was a great game for me to watch. I loved watching it. I enjoyed watching it. But I felt for Ten Hag. I felt like in a game like that, with all your, should I say all, or most of your bosses in attendance. So you could see the Glazer guy was there. You could see Radcliffe was there. The other Ineos guy was there. All those guys were sitting there. And then your team does that. I don't think that's good news for Eric.
No.
He could, in his post-match conference, he was saying, this is not embarrassing because we've come to 2 finals in 2 years. In the last 10 years, there were only 3 finals. Whatever and however he tries to defend this, whatever statistics he wants to bring up.
Yeah.
I just feel like that was not a good showing for him.
No, well, I mean, there's no denying that United have had they've underperformed this season. Like, compared to how they were last season, like, they've underperformed. I mean, that's just the reality.
I think Bruno said that in his post-match interview with Maguire and whoever the guy was. He mentioned that, and it's clear. It is clear. It's because at some point, Coventry were playing like the Premier League team.
Yeah. That's why they're there. They've played pretty good. I mean, even though they went down a few goals in the first half, they looked incredibly fast. Like they were really, really fast. So their passing was incredible. Like, I wish Arsenal passed the way they did. Like, it felt like somebody had the FIFA controls upstairs. I kid you not, dude. You had this player by the line, by the whatever that's called,
Yeah.
And you had this one player get a pass, and then he rolls it over to somebody. Like, somebody just pressed the button on the controller.
I tell you,
like, that's how good they were looking. And I was surprised when United went 2 up, and I'm like, this is not how this should be right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to me, sorry, I'm interrupting your point, but
same game anyway.
Well, I just felt like when I saw 3-3, I was like, okay, that looks more like it. Which is weird to say that,
to be honest,
considering the fact that it's those two.
Yeah, I wasn't
teams,
expecting them to come back from 3-0 down.
Really?
Yeah. Now, did I feel like they could get a goal? Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like the game could have ended 3-1, 3-2. But the thing with football is, when you give the opponent the opportunity to build momentum, you don't know where that's going to take them.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah.
And I felt like United were crumbling. Wan-Bissaka didn't have a great game.
No.
Especially in the second half, he didn't.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think there's so much he could do about the deflection for the second goal. But most of the attacking play seemed to come from where he should have been. And even the 4th goal that was later called on for VAR, he was the guy who was not in the line with his other defenders.
Yeah.
So you look at that and you go, yeah, that's sad.
This close. Coventry were this close.
Very close, like a toenail.
And that was a good goal too. It was a nice
toenail away. And it was so painful. It was so painful.
You should have.
I tell you, it was so painful.
You should have seen. United. just their overall vibe once that happened, like they're all like,
You know the funny thing? I saw something online. When that goal went in,
yeah,
the top goal that didn't stand. When it went in, United fans actually left the stadium.
yeah, there were seats empty. Yeah,
Yeah. So they left the stadium.
yeah.
And then as they walked out, they saw that VAR disallowed the goal. They were trying to get back in.
Too late.
They were trying to get back in. So I feel like most of them actually missed the penalty shootout.
Probably. Yeah. There were seats. I noticed that there were a lot of seats empty. Yeah.
But you don't blame them. It's disappointing. But for Coventry fans, that is such an experience to have.
Oh man, they were pretty heartbroken.
Such an experience to have. I feel like definitely they can live with their head high. They have impressed not just themselves and their fans. They've impressed everybody who watched that game.
Yeah.
I think I was so impressed with them. Those are the kind of games where you want to tell your kids, I was there when that happened.
Yeah.
There are games like that where it's just a privilege to be in the stadium.
Yep.
To see it live. So
yep.
Good stuff. But now it's decided Manchester United will play Manchester City in the final.
Dude, I was hoping it would be the Sky Blues versus the Sky Blues, but unfortunately not.
Well, the Sky Blues. Oh yeah.
Because they were Sky Blues.
Yeah.
I was just looking at like where they are in the championship.
To the 8th?
Yeah, it's a shame they're at the 8th because the way they're playing, I feel like they should be higher, But
shout out to them. They've done well.
Good show. It was a good show. Yeah,
That's
it was
the
a
word.
good show.
It was a good show.
Yeah, hope to see them back again. But anyway, that's the FA Cup, right?
Yep.
That's pretty much it. So the final is a Manchester derby.
Again, last season it was a Manchester derby. Gundogan scored in like 13 seconds.
Yep. Didn't United win that?
No, City did.
Oh, they did? Well.
Yeah. So Gundogan scored the first goal like 13 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
Then Fernandes made it 1-1. Then Gundogan again made it 2-1. So that's how we ended.
Well, history may very well repeat itself. So
now Gundogan is in Barcelona. He has different headaches now.
Well, yeah. And anyway, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
Anyway, that's the FA Cup.
Yep.
Let's before we talk about anything else, I need to talk to our Chelsea because Chelsea played Everton last week?
Yes, Chelsea played Everton last week, yes.
What was up with the penalty drama?
Oh.
So you got, who was it? I think Noni wanted to take it.
Yeah, Noni wanted to take it. Noni felt he was, I could be wrong, but I think
he was on a hat trick.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
Why was he fussing to take the penalty then?
I think he felt the penalty was given because of a foul against him.
So what does that mean?
So he felt like he won the penalty, so he should take it. But I don't even think the penalty was given because of the foul on him. It was the foul on Palmer. So there were 2 fouls in the box.
Yes.
The Palmer one seemed more like the penalty one, in the sense that felt more like a penalty than the Noni one. So Madueke's one was different in the sense that I think I don't know who it was, Tarkowski, whoever it was, the Everton player was trying to grudge him off the ball and maybe his hand hit him. But it was an easy fall. So in the 2 incidents, I feel like the ice cold one is more of a penalty shot. But the referee blew the whistle after the foul on Noni. So Noni felt, I won the penalty, I should take it. And I think that is also because by that time Chelsea were already 4-0 up, I believe. I could be wrong. They were already like 4. So if he was still goalless, I don't think he should be trying to get the ball or whatever.
Yeah.
Jackson wanted to take it also. Maybe he felt like it would help him with his goal tally, whatever. But it's clear, ice cold is the penalty taker. So why not just let him take it?
Yeah.
So I still don't understand why they did that. But I remember Poch saying something in his post-match conference that it will never happen again.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's clear. I think Gallagher was the captain on the night, and he just told them, "Hey guys, collected the ball, gave it to ice cold. Get out, just move out."
Yep.
They're young boys. Yeah, they're young kids.
Well, it showed.
I wouldn't like that. I won't deny that. Yes, it did.
It was weird.
It was weird.
Because I saw the news somewhere, and so then
Yeah.
I went back and tried to find like
It was
if
weird.
there's any footage of it, and I was just like,
They didn't need to do
why
that.
are they fighting?
They
Like,
did,
just
yeah.
let the person who's been taking it take it. And
Ice Cold has been taking
That's
it
it.
all season. And it's not like he's not been scoring them. He has.
yeah,
Now, in the game against City, at Stamford Bridge, 4-3 down, into the 90th minute, who steps up to take it?
he takes it,
Ice Cold.
and he took it. Yeah, and he got it.
Against Manchester United, who steps up to take it when Chelsea needed a goal? He was.
Yep.
So, in the pressure moments, he was the one who took the penalties and scored.
Yep.
Now you're leading 4-0, you want to take the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Let the guy take it.
Yep. No, it was just weird. Anyway, but I just wanted to ask you, they're like, what does Chelsea not have a? Well, he should be the main penalty taker.
No,
I
he
guess,
is.
Yeah,
No, he should. He is the main penalty taker. It's clear.
there was something that happened a few years ago. Maybe it was last season where somebody really, really wanted to take the penalty, and then they really fought to take it, and then they finally took it and they missed. Do you remember who this was?
Is it last season?
Was it Chelsea?
I think Chelsea this season. It happened to Sterling.
It did.
Yeah, this season it happened to Sterling.
Like he fought to take it.
Yep. Not like he didn't like fight, but he went, took the ball, held onto it, and said he was going to take it. I think it was an FA Cup game. I could be wrong.
And he missed it.
He did miss it. He did miss it.
That's the worst. I don't remember Sterling, but I feel like it was
He did
somebody
miss it.
else.
Yeah, he did miss it.
I don't know who it was.
I can't remember.
If you know
the
who
game.
it was, put it in the comments.
I can't remember who he was, who Chelsea were playing against, but I think it was a cup game. He had, should I call it a dreadful game? He didn't have a good game. He missed the penalty. He got an assist though for one of Cole Palmer's goal. So he had an assist, but he missed the penalty. Then he played some free kick that went way off target.
Dang. Yeah.
So I think it was Sterling. Yeah.
Could be. Anyway, that's that.
Mhm.
Champions League.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that.
The big old ears.
First of all, Arsenal are out.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
What?
I mean, we were
There,
just
there was hope.
honestly, we were just happy to be there.
There
I
was
think
hope. There was hope that you could have made it to the semifinal.
We could have, yeah. I mean, just on a serious note, though, like, number one, I think this was great exposure for the players. Like,
Mhm.
this group of players has just not been to that stage.
But they played the Champions League last season, didn't they?
No, this is our first time back.
No.
We didn't play in the Champions League last season.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We got into the Champions League this season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was last season where you first bottled the league. Yeah, that's true.
You just
No, I was thinking that happened earlier.
wait for Tuesday.
Oh, come
Get
on.
get a battering. Just wait. Anyway,
Well, you're fighting for something. We are not. It's all right.
what was I saying?
Arsenal,
Before-
Bayern Munich.
Before you rudely.
Sorry, brother. Arsenal, Bayern Munich.
Arsenal Bayern Munich, yeah. Like, this was really good exposure for all those players. They haven't played. I mean, most of them, I would say, haven't played in the Champions League.
Yes, you
And
should
so-
finals.
It's quite high intensity. Bayern play, I feel like, very intense football. And this was the Allianz Arena. So, like, home ground, it's their show, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They went for it. And, I mean, they got the all-important goal they needed.
Yeah, Kimmich.
Kimmich with the header.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few other chances, I think.
Yeah, they were.
Same for Arsenal, I think, as well. There are a couple, not as many. But there was the opportunity. We tried. Yeah, I think just good exposure all around for Arsenal, and let's see if we make it back.
You will make it back. You will make it back, Def. I just don't know if you make it back as English champions, but you will make it back.
Let's see.
I agree with you. Good exposure for the boys. I feel like you guys played better in the first leg than the second.
Oh yes, 100%.
The second leg was a little dull
Yeah.
compared to the first leg,
Yep.
where even when you guys were 2-1 down at the Emirates, you guys kept pushing and kept going until you got the Trossard goal.
Yep.
But this one, I didn't feel that intensity, that
Mm-mm.
drive to still put Bayern to the sword, even in their own stadium and all of that.
Yep.
But as you said, good experience for your boys, so that's cool. That's one English club out. And we had City at home to Real.
Wait, that was at home?
Yeah, the second leg was at home.
Oh.
The first leg was in the Bernabeu. So the second leg was at the Etihad. And it was clear. I think Don Carlo had learned from the game last season where they lost 4-0.
Yep.
They came to the Etihad. I think they tried to play expansive football and City killed them. So I think that's one of the things that makes Don Carlo. He had looked at it and maybe he had considered, if we try to play expansive football against these guys here again, they might just kill us. So, and I keep saying this thing. Nowadays, it feels like you are allowed to park the bus. Because they came to the Etihad. Now, while they just didn't sit back and just hit the ball and say, come again. Because the whole idea was sit back, soak out the pressure, release the ball for Vini and Rodrigo and the speed stars to run. That was literally what it was. And it worked in the sense that they defended really well. They got their goal, which was what they needed. And they made the game go all the way to penalties. And they won it on penalties. But at this stage of the competition, it's a win. Even though it's on penalties, it is a win.
Yeah.
Which is good for them. So, another English club out. And then you had Dortmund actually knock out Atletico Madrid. That was a great game.
Yeah, so both those legs were interesting. The Dortmund,
that was
Atletico, PSG, Barcelona.
That was a great game.
Both of those were surprising because the teams that went in to those legs with the winning position were Atletico and Barcelona.
Yep.
Which happen to be both La Liga clubs.
Yep.
And they both went out.
So I think it was also a great week for Real Madrid. Seeing those guys leave the UCL.
Yep.
So I think Real Madrid they are the only Spanish team now in the UCL. Yeah. But also, those same clubs lost over the weekend.
Oh, really?
So Barca lost to Real Madrid in a Clásico, which we'll talk about. Atletico also lost their league game.
To whom?
Can't remember. Cadiz? Can't remember who it was. But they lost, I think, 2-0.
Dang.
Yeah. So it was a great week for Real Madrid.
Yep.
In the Barca PSG game, Barca had gone 1-0 up, and then Araujo gets a red card.
Yes.
And I feel like that was a turning point in the game. And they end up losing the game 4-1.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, Gundogan is giving his post-match conference, and he seems to take a dig at Araujo, and we didn't make decisions that were beneficial for the team.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Now, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but trying to paraphrase what he said. And he definitely had an issue with Araujo's decision to foul Barcola, which led to his red card, because it was clear. After the red card, the game changed. Now, I think even Xavi and Araujo have come out and said, it's been settled. They've apologized to each other and all of that.
What was wrong with Xavi and Araujo?
No, Xavi speaking as the manager of the team. So Araujo didn't like the way Gundogan spoke in his post-match conference. Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is the same Gundogan who spoke after the first Clásico, which they lost 2-1. And he said he was disappointed with the team in the sense that when he went back into the dressing room, after they had lost a big game, everybody was happy.
Yeah.
Instead of being disappointed and sad that they had lost a big game like that. So I feel like for someone like Gundogan, who was just coming from City, treble winners.
Oh, yeah.
He had been in the dressing room with Pep, with somebody like that who has
Nobody talk. Sit down. I am the manager. If you know, you know.
Yeah. With that high standard. And then it comes to Barca and they lose a Clásico and everybody's like...
Well, I feel like Xavi, that was also interesting, him kicking the thing and like getting the red card. Like, I mean, it's one thing to show composure, but I feel like you need, not show composure, show passion, but like, you need to be a bit composed as well.
Well, what can you say? The thing is, now I'm not here to defend Xavi. I'm not a Barcelona fan anyway. I'm not sure sometimes what is and what isn't. I'll give you an example of what I mean.
Bro, are we still talking about football?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you an example of what I mean.
Making sure
So now people would always go like, oh, in La Liga is different, in European competitions is different, in Premier League is different, and all that kind of stuff. So Araujo's red card was because he fouled Barcola when he was throwing goal.
Yes.
Because if you say he was the last man, you could argue that Kubasi was just on the other side. In El Clasico, which I saw, Lamine Yamal gets in front of Camavinga. Camavinga fouls him while he's throwing goal and gets a yellow card.
What stage was that in the match?
This instance is both first half.
Dang.
The Camavinga one kind of earlier in the game, though, kind of like maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The Araujo one happened like 30 something minutes. So I look at those two instances and I say, you could actually argue that they are both the same in the sense that this guy will be thrown goal if this foul didn't happen. So I think through that and I go, sometimes what is and what isn't. You think through the Premier League game, which we will talk about, Forest Everton. One of Forest's shouts for a penalty was the ball hitting Young on his hand and he moves it back. Or he was moving it back when he hit it, whatever. In the FA Cup semi-final game, that's the same way Coventry got their third penalty.
That's true, yeah.
So what is and what isn't? That's what I meant by that question. So is everything now at the discretion of the ref? In the sense that, in this situation, I think it's a penalty. I think it's not. I think it's a red card. I think it's not.
Yep.
So you think through all of that and you go, yeah, football is kind of confusing sometimes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But back to what we're saying, that's the Champions League. So right now we're in the semi-final stage. Bayern Munich hosts Real Madrid for the first leg, and the other game is Dortmund against PSG.
Good matches.
I think I would have asked something like, who do you think will make it to the final? But I think it's too early. Let's see the first legs first. In the Europa League, Liverpool lost the first leg at home to Atalanta 3-0.
Yes.
And then went to Bergamo hoping to do some miracle. But Atalanta were ready for them. So it ended 1-0. Liverpool won that game, but 3-1 on aggregate. So the whole club fairy tale, quadruple hopes squashed.
They've won one though, right?
They have won the Carabao Cup.
They won the Carabao Cup.
But they're out of England. They're out of the FA Cup.
Yep.
So their only hope is the Premier League. And it's not in their hands. For them to win it, the guys above them have to mess up. So it's no longer in their hands. And City.
As of right now.
Yeah, City still have a game because City didn't play in the league because of the FA Cup.
I know.
So you think about all of that. So that's that.
Yeah.
Also in the Europa League, West Ham lost the first. Yeah, they're out.
Yep.
Lost the first leg 2-0 to Dortmund. No, not Dortmund. Leverkusen in Germany. Then played 1-1 in the second leg at the London Stadium. So they're also out. The only English team left in European tournaments is the great Aston Villa.
There you go.
And they have one man to thank for that. Not necessarily one man, but he had a huge part to play. The man, the myth, the troublesome guy, Emi Martinez.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Unai Emery.
Nope. Well, Unai definitely has his credit to take as the manager.
Absolutely. He's been in this competition.
Yes, and he made good substitutions and all of that. But you got to give it to Emi Martinez. So it was 2-1 from the first leg at Villa Park. And the second leg in Lille, France. Every time Emi Martinez had the ball, he was booed by the fans. And you know why?
Why?
The World Cup final.
Oh.
France-Argentina. So he's in France.
Interesting, yeah.
Because definitely Lille is a French club. So he's in France. And the French haven't forgotten.
How dare he?
The French haven't forgotten.
Wow.
So every time he got the ball, he was booed.
Oh, I think actually I saw something like they threw some stuff at him as well, right?
Through the penalty kicks, stuff was thrown at him. So he was booed out throughout the game. Yeah. Lille make it 2-0. At that point in time, they were going to qualify. Because on aggregate then it was 3-2. 88, thereabouts. So at the end of the game, Mati Cash makes it 2-1. Levels the steam. The game goes into penalties. And I feel like Emi Martinez, it feels like he sucks in this negative energy and it just makes him bigger. So there he is doing his regular antics, trying to get in the head of the guy, playing the penalty. In the game,
the dark
he had a yellow card.
Yeah.
During the penalty shootout, he had another yellow card. Then I realized that, because I was like, why is he getting 2 yellow cards in the same game and still there?
Yeah.
But then I realized that after the full time, the yellow cards in that one is not considered. The yellow cards that you were given in the penalty shootouts. So there are 2 separate yellow cards.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I think I knew it, but this weekend, this week has reminded me.
It happen.
Because it also happened to Onana in the FA Cup semi-final game. He got a yellow card for time wasting.
Yeah, I did.
And then he got a yellow card during the penalty shootout also.
Yeah.
So Emi Martinez saves 2. I think he saved one. The other one was missed. But whatever, he did his job. And I look at that and I go, I think the French will now hate him even more.
Absolutely. I mean, if he lost, the hate wouldn't have gotten less. It's just
because the funny thing is when he saved the first penalty, he's shushing the crowd.
Of course,
he's all with his
Cause you can see why he's annoying.
Guys,
you can be good and not do all of that stuff.
Emi is just
and people
unique.
would probably appreciate you. Okay. He's good and he's not an idiot, but
the guy is good. You can't take it away from him.
He's good, but he's an idiot as well. That's just. There's no.
I did not say that.
Yeah,
the former Arsenal guy said that.
I did
because he's a former.
Yeah, we all think that.
Who's we? I'm not part of that we.
You are.
No.
Let him play against you, then you'll know.
I don't think he's an idiot. I do not.
He isn't. Yeah.
It's the antics of the game, bro.
That's not antics, man.
That's the antics of the game.
That's something else.
Now, he's doing what he needs to do to get his job done.
I don't know, man. That's a little...
he's trying to get in your head.
His job is to, in the words of Roy Keane, that's his job, to just stop the ball from going.
And he does.
That's it.
He does that.
All that other stuff is not his job.
It's
not his job to go and be like, hey, yo mama, whatever. That's not his job.
Well, the thing is, it's not his job to say whatever you just said. But if there is a way he can get his job done by doing that, he does it. So when he saved the first penalty, Emiliano Martinez, just character of a guy. He does the whole, and he shushes the crowd, and I'm like,
yep.
Do you know you're not in England, bro? They could actually attack the boss outside or something.
Yeah.
And he's that kind of a character. He really doesn't care.
He doesn't care. That's true. You saw what he did when he got his golden glove. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. I do remember that.
I can't even say that, but anyway.
Yeah, let's just... For those who don't know, they don't know. It's better they don't know.
It's better they don't know. That's Emi Martinez for you.
But that is Emi Martinez for you. So he did his stuff. Villa are into the next round of the Conference League.
Who do they play next?
I think they're going to play... I forgot to check it. They were supposed to play the winner of Fenerbahce versus Olympiacos. So one of those teams. I haven't still checked it yet now.
Well, it's Europe, so you never know.
Yeah, you never
know. It's interesting.
It is. So all that has affected the coefficient stuff for next season, and Arsenal will not play in the Club World Cup next season because of all of this. Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I was telling you before this, I've never even watched a Club World Cup.
I watched
a couple of
live.
Yeah.
So when Chelsea played Al Hilal, I watched that game, and then I watched the final against Palmeiras.
Who played that one?
Chelsea Palmeiras.
So final and final? Or final?
No, the first one was the semi-final.
Oh, semi-final and final.
Then the final. Yeah, that was before Tommy Tuchel left. Yeah, so I saw those 2 games there.
There you go. Anyway, that's Champions League and I guess Europa League. Let's go to La Liga.
Oh yeah,
the
El Clasico. That's
one of the biggest matches in football.
As they say.
How was it?
It was a nice game to watch. The most important thing is the scoreline 3-2.
Yep.
Real Madrid won. That gives them an 11-point gap between themselves and Barca in second. To me, I feel like they've won the league. And you could see it with the way they celebrated after Bellingham's goal. Bellingham's goal was in the 91st minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so just end of the game kind of stuff. Barca had a good start. Christensen got them in front early enough. Then I think Vasquez was the guy who won a penalty. Xavi thought he was diving. I don't know. He could think anywhere. Vini steps up, make it 1-1. Then Fermin comes on, second half makes it 2-1 to Barca. And he goes and he celebrates. And actually, I don't know if he was trying to mimic the Bellingham celebration. So he goes to the Real Madrid fans and stands with his hands wide open and all.
Interesting.
And then Vasquez makes it 2-2. And then, as we've said this season, it's the Jude show. It's just a Jude show.
He got the goal, the winning goal.
Yeah.
That was a good goal, too.
It was. And he got the goal in a time where Barca don't even have enough time to respond to that. So it's just the Jude show. It's great. Just great. But there were issues during the game. Like, there was a delay at some point to check because Lunin kind of made a save behind the line. So
the goal line stuff,
the whole goal line technology issue. So there were obviously issues like Xavi thinks the ref didn't do well enough. He gave some whatever, however he took at it. I think even Ter Stegen wasn't happy with the fact that goal line technology is not being used. But by the time you get to this point, there's not much you can do anymore. It's 3-2. You won't replay the game and all of that. Even at the end of the game, you could see the two presidents shaking hands.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you could see Laporta has agreed, has accepted it. Barca are gonna go trophyless. It's not a great season for them. Xavi has stated again and again that he has not changed his mind as regards leaving at the end of the season. So it's to start thinking through who the next manager will be. If he will have the same fate. I don't know if it's fate or just circumstance will be the same. And he would have to play the young stars again like Lamine and Pedri and Gavi and Fermin, all those guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if their financial situation has gotten any better now.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think La Liga is over now. Practically, I think it's over.
Yeah.
Mathematically and probability-wise, something could still happen. But I don't see Real Madrid losing that many games. They are 11 points clear with about 5-6 games to go. I feel like it's gone. They've done it. So,
wow.
They might as well just start writing their name on the trophy now.
Dang.
Yeah, I tell you. Most of the leagues are as good as clear except the Premier League.
Yeah.
PSG won Lyon. I think as a halftime was 4-1 already. Second half was 4-1 by then. So I think PSG will win Ligue 1 again.
Yeah.
The Milan derby is happening. And I think Inter would win Serie A. So we're almost done. As you said, most of the tournaments are rounding up.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's just the big thing from Spain.
Yeah.
Real Madrid will win it.
There you go. Well, that's that. The Premier League.
Yep.
Had a few catch-up games, I guess.
Yeah. There were games.
Arsenal back on top for now. With City still a game in hand. 2-0 at Wolves.
Nice one.
We were a bit tired, I felt like, but we got the job done, which is what matters.
Yeah.
I wasn't really impressed by the goals, either goal.
I think the Trossard goal was cool.
Yeah, because it was a fluke.
I do not deny that. I do not deny that, but I feel like
a goal nonetheless. A goal is a goal.
I think it was top bins.
It was top bin.
Jose Sa wouldn't have saved it anyway.
What? He's not Onana.
So as I was saying,
yes, Jose Sa wouldn't have saved it.
I don't think he would have.
But the thing is, like, he didn't know where it was going.
Yeah,
the way he kicked it and where the ball went. Of course, nobody would be.
It wasn't even. I don't think Jesus actually planned to pass it.
No, so he wasn't trying to take it himself.
But but it just goes off his foot.
The thing is, he fell. Yeah. So after he fell, he just tried to get it away.
And Trossard just sees the ball and just. So it was Like 5 seconds of
It all worked
this
out.
guy didn't know what he was doing. The ball gets to this guy. He just makes a decision. So
It all worked out.
but he goes in the
It
net.
all worked out, yeah. And
They
then
all
the
count.
second goal was weird as well. Like, it was a rebound, and then Odegaard's still there, so he's like, why not?
Why not? So it is what it is.
But anyway,
is
back
what it is.
to winning ways, I guess, for Arsenal.
Good for
And
us.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool
won
3-1 away
3-1.
at Fulham. Good goals. Good
Yeah,
goals.
great
Alexander, free kick. Gravenberch, beautiful goal.
Oh, that was a good goal.
Yeah,
assist.
so good goals, good
Yeah.
goals. Also, we had Crystal Palace
5-2, yeah.
deal with West Ham.
4-0, like around
About
30 minutes
yeah,
or something.
4-0 up already.
That was crazy.
I tell you, David Moyes was definitely furious.
I can
Wasn't
imagine.
happy.
I can imagine.
Definitely wasn't happy.
Yeah.
But shout out to Crystal Palace. Good stuff for them.
Were there any big upsides? Well, I guess the Nottingham Forest match, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. But you had the two teams at the bottom play.
Oh, yeah, and Burnley won.
Yes. So Burnley 4-1 winners away at
Yeah.
Sheffield. So shout out to Burnley. Good for them.
Watching that match, you could tell both were bottom of the league teams by
Well,
the way they played.
But
Still, Burnley won.
Burnley got 4 goals.
Four goals, but
Yeah,
still,
so that was good.
the way they were both playing, I was like, yeah, this checks out.
That's why they're where
at the
they are.
bottom.
And then you had Brentford go to Luton and deal with them 5-1.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
really sad for Luton to lose at home to Brentford. I think those are the main games. You had Aston Villa come from 1-0 down against Bournemouth to win 3-1. That's also good. Good news for Unai. After qualifying during the week for the next round of the Conference League, to come and then win Bournemouth to extend the gap between them and Spurs to 6 points, I believe. So good week for them. But to that game, the Forest-Everton game.
Yes. Everton won that, right?
Yes, so Everton won that 2-0. 2 goals from Ganagay and McNeil. 2 beautiful strikes, both going into the post off the upright.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think the keeper had so much of a chance to save them, because that's like the tightest of angles. But I think the major talking point from the game is Nottingham Forest's reaction to the officiating. So first off, they have put out a statement, I think like a Twitter statement, saying
Oh, yes.
they have issues with not 3 instances, 3 penalty instances. They made it clear
Yeah.
that they should have gotten 3 penalties.
Can I read that statement?
If you can find it. If you can find it, yes.
If I find
I
it.
think they put it out just after, not too
yes.
long after the game.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 extremely poor decisions.
Okay.
3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGOML that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. NFFC will now consider its options. That's
a strong statement.
That's very strong.
Especially the way it ends. We'll now consider its options. Now, I don't know what the options are. Are they going to sue the...
That's what they need to consider also.
Yeah, that's what...
I don't think they know their options either.
That's me being honest. I don't really know what the options are. Are they going to sue the PGMOL? What court? CAS? CAS? What are they going to do?
Yep.
Are they going to start a petition for Howard Webb to be fired?
Yep. I will say this though. They have voiced something that I feel like a lot of people have been wondering for a while, which is how certain managers, support certain teams.
Managers or refs?
Sorry, refs.
Yeah.
Certain referees, have they're fans of football clubs.
Yeah. They're also English.
Yeah. And so this has been something that's every now and then kind of come up, and like there's all sorts of rumors or people, have thoughts about how these refs have, different teams as their favorite teams.
Yeah.
And so sometimes those things have come up. And I mean, a lot of times also, like, that's not been something that's kept them from making a tough call, right?
Yeah.
During a match. But that does raise the question, like, does do the Premier League referees, whatever, PGMOL, whatever this is, like, do they take that into consideration when they assign referees or not? They should, I feel like.
I've had some guy talk about it some years ago, I think. I don't know if it was Mike Dean or somebody who said, or even Clattenburg, who said, because I'm a supporter of this, I would never get this match to it. And that is what it should be. So number one, as we were saying, the fact that Forest have put this out in the public domain shows that they are actually pissed. Number one. I do agree that this is not the first time I've watched a Forest game where they actually have an issue against the officiating. Another club that could say the same is maybe even Wolves.
Where?
So Wolves as another team that I think the officiating has not helped them. But we'll stick to the one that is hot right now. So Wolves, you would have your time later.
See, but the thing about Wolves, though, is they've put their head down and they got to work, and they are where they are right now because of that hard work. Like, but there are a lot of decisions.
The idea is this: they should have been better off. So now Wolves are not in a relegation fight.
Yeah,
shout out to them for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they've done the hard work.
Yeah, but if all those officiating errors had not happened, they would not be where they are. They would have been maybe 2-3 spots higher than they are on the table.
Sure, yeah, but still, they are where they are because of the hard work.
True, though.
My point being, what has Nottingham Forest done? All they've done is sack their previous manager and gotten a new one, and appointed like some previous referee into some.
Yeah, so they have Clattenburg. Clattenburg is like a consultant on refereeing issues.
That's what I'm saying. How many clubs have that?
I think he's the first.
Exactly. Like, that's what they've done. Instead of actually going and just doing the hard work, trying to win football matches.
I think part of the thing is, I'm not a Forest fan, but I do feel for them in the sense that when you work hard and you feel like your effort is being taken from you, or the fruit of your effort is being taken from you, it's not easy.
That's fair.
It's not easy. I want to give them that. The game against Liverpool that they lost to the Darwin Núñez 99th minute goal, there was an error in that. Everybody saw that. That was clear. Even what's his name? Was it Paul Tierney, who was a ref or so? I can't remember. I think he was. Gave a red card to the one of Nuno's assistants who was complaining. Now they've had one or two other issues, but that one I remember because I actually saw that game. Now this game against Everton, I also saw this game. Their first penalty shout was a foul by Ashley Young on Gio Reyna. Ashley Young tries to kick the ball, but kicks Gio Reyna's boot. Now, whether you say it's minimal contact or not enough contact or whatever the explanation is, does Ashley Young kick the ball or the man? He kicks the man. I'm not talking about if that's enough reason for him to fall or to stand. The second penalty shot is the ball that gets to Hudson-Odoi, and he's trying to cross it up, play it across the penalty area for Wood to strike it. He hits Ashley Young's hand. For some reason, Anthony Taylor, who's the ref, doesn't even go to the screen. The VAR guy, who I think is Stuart Atwell, I believe, doesn't even tell the guy to go look at it on the screen. Waves it away. That is the same instance, as I said, in the FA Cup semi-final. I think it's carbon copy. Which the Coventry guy gets the ball back. And I think, was that Wan-Bissaka's hand?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Wan-Bissaka. Sad second half. But that's, by the way. Coventry get a penalty for the same team in an FA Cup semi-final.
Yep.
And the thing is, the VAR will look at it in the Coventry game, and they don't see that it's a clear and obvious error. So the penalty stands.
Yeah.
So in the game against Everton, which Forest play, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that should be a penalty. Now, you could actually even look at the City-Chelsea game. Cole Palmer's free kick, with Grealish, has his hands out.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't given, right?
That wasn't given.
Yeah.
So you look at all, that, I don't think anybody would look at that and say that is not a penalty.
That should have been given, yeah.
So the officiating this season is a big problem. So I feel for Forest.
Yep.
They are in a relegation fight.
Fair, yeah.
They have how many points deducted of them? 4 points, I guess, or 6, 4, thereabouts. Now I know Everton also have 6 points deducted of them, I believe. But They are in a relegation fight. They
That's
are trying their
interesting.
best.
I just realized that
Yes,
both
they
the
also
clubs
have
have
point
had point
deductions.
deducted. Yeah,
They both have point deductions.
I didn't realize that.
So there's so many factors we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then they go into a game like that. The third incident is a pass which Hudson-Odoi gets. He's ahead of the same Ashley Young. The 3 instances for the penalties are all with Ashley Young.
Wow, and he got away, huh?
All 3 of them, he was not penalized for anyone.
Yeah, that is sus. Not gonna lie.
The third one, Hudson-Odoi gets ahead of him.
Mm.
He kicks Hudson-Odoi's leg, follows up on the second leg, and the guy falls like he's kneeling.
And
It's still not a penalty. And I look at that and I go, yeah. You just can't blame.
See, but this is one match. Has this happened with them like in every single match?
No, not every single match. I don't think it's every single match. But they've had issues. I think they can
Club has had
point
issues.
to 3 to 5 of them, which have been very painful.
Yeah, but I feel like every club has had issues. I think the bigger problem is the inconsistency in applying those rules. Take the handball and rule, for instance, like to get a penalty or to be able to determine what is a penalty and what isn't, right? The problem is that that's come down to, at least it has been for a long time, it's been down to the referee's interpretation of the situation. Whereas,
but that's why he has the VAR guys there.
Well, VAR is there to help the referee. VAR is not there to go, basically challenge every single decision the referee makes.
But
the thing is,
I'll just keep quiet.
The thing is, the handball situation, for instance.
Which one?
I'm just talking in general.
Okay,
I'm talking in general.
Okay.
It wasn't clear to me until just recently where they've kind of landed on that whole situation. So now it's like, okay, if the player is using if their hands are somewhere in a position to make the body big, that, it ends up being, a penalty then.
Yeah.
So that could mean anything, honestly, because it's the way that rule is interpreted. So for instance, making something big to me means you're kind of putting your arms out like this.
Right? Yeah, that's one way. So
However,
they would also say something like if your hands are in an unnatural position.
So that's part of it. Yeah. So making it big, or if it's in an unnatural position to block the ball, right? So in the case of Wan-Bissaka, their interpretation was that his arm was in an unnatural position and he was making his body big, which he's not doing it intentionally, but it became a penalty. But the same thing was with Grealish.
Very same
right?
thing. Grealish. Now
his arm was in an unnatural position. It should have been higher.
Also, he's in the wall.
As he's in the wall.
In a free kick wall.
Yep.
There's space between himself and whoever it is beside him. And that's the space the ball was going to go through. And then his hand is up. And as the ball comes, you can see his hand is coming to hit the ball. So I'm like, if that is not a penalty.
It was a penalty, yeah. So the problem is the inconsistency with which they apply these rules.
Sad.
And it should not be to the interpretation of the on-field referee every time. They should, with each decision, they should look at it and go, okay, did we apply this rule correctly here or not? Because the handball rule should be the same across the board. It shouldn't be like, oh, okay, this is kind of like this or not. Yeah. No, if it's like he made his body big, then Chelsea gets a penalty.
I think so should Forest have gotten.
So should Forest, yeah.
They should have gotten a penalty.
Yeah.
So it's sad that in the same week, we see 3 of these things happen. 1 is given, 2 are not given. I just think it's sad.
Yeah,
I think it's really sad.
I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
They talk about a referee being a Luton fan, but they're playing Everton.
Luton are also in the relegation fight.
So what they're saying is, because this referee was a Luton fan, they didn't give a decision our way in the grander scheme of things.
Yeah. So what they're saying is,
that's a big accusation.
It is.
Let's just put it out there.
It is a big one, and it's something that should not be taken lightly. So,
this could have repercussions for them.
for Forest.
Yep.
For sure, in the sense that we are humans.
Yeah.
The PGMOL guys won't like them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We know that.
They already don't like them for what they did with hiring the referee.
Clattenburg. Yeah, that's fine. But
Whole thing.
They're
The
trying to
referee
do,
expert or
they're trying to
whatever.
think through the options they have. Now, the thing is this. From what Nuno said and what the Twitter or whatever post they put out says, they got in contact to the PGMOL before the game.
Yeah.
So I think it was like when the referees had been announced, which they usually do, like I think the midweek, 2-3 days before the weekend or whatever you want to say, you see all the referees for the weekend. Match referee, VAR. Match referee, VAR. Match referee, VAR.
Yeah.
Now they have seen that. And possibly with discussions with Clattenburg, who's their referee, PGMOL consultant, whatever his role is, they have said, we actually brought it up to the PGMOL that VAR, Stuart Atwell, is a Luton fan.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that important? Luton are the club that are just below Forest on the table. The point difference is not so much. Now, is it possible that Stuart Atwell would only make neutral decisions? It is. But is it also possible that he will make decisions in light of his loyalty to Luton fan? It is.
Yeah, but I feel like nobody would make a decision that obvious that gets talked about so much.
But the decisions were obvious, were they not?
So like you could take that as like the Tottenham Liverpool match and the VAR referee
Diaz
who
goal.
cleared it, the Diaz goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know who that referee supports.
I have no
but
idea.
then, like, my thing is, I get what
Forest
are trying to do, right? I get what they're saying. I just feel like they're going about it the wrong way.
How should they go about it?
By playing football.
They have.
Well, they're in the position where they are because of points deduction, but quite honestly, their own doing.
They are playing. Now, I'm not saying that if not for these things, Forest will win the league. Now, that's an exaggeration, but you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
I'm saying that
they're also where they are because of their own work.
But Forest are not City.
Yeah.
Every point is valuable, just as it is for every other team.
Yes.
But for a team like Forest, last season, were they not in a relegation fight? They were.
Yes.
And that was with Steve Cooper,
with
a different manager, with some players who are different. So they had a few guys like Navas was there for the second half of the season, and Ayew was there for a while, and wasn't this guy from Atletico, so was there for a while and all. But that is Forest as a team. Where are they? They are relegation guys. Why? They just came to the Premier League 2-3 seasons ago. If you're comparing them with Wolves, Wolves have been in the Premier League for how many seasons?
Been for a while. Yeah.
That's the thing. So am I saying that Forest should just hope that they can keep putting out posts against the PGMOL? No. They are a team that know that they are a relegation fighting team in the Premier League. In the Championship, it could be different.
Yeah.
But in the Premier League, season in, season out. Now, if you remember at the start of the season, when we did our predictions for top 3, bottom 3, we both had Forest in our bottom 3, I believe.
Yeah.
Because we know that they are a team that will fight relegation.
Yeah.
Their job is already hard.
Yeah.
So it feels like the officiating is making their job harder.
Look,
does that make sense?
Yeah, but like...
Now, then the second thing I'm going to say is, now, I'm not saying I support the whole idea of bashing the PGMOL in the public space. But I can't think of any other option they had. If the other option was maybe to write a letter to PGMOL, which we would never have seen or never had heard of. Secondly, I think there has to be a point where England or maybe the English FA need to think through options and go, do we get an independent body somewhere outside of the PGMOL that can look into things like this? Now, the game will not be replayed. We know that. It's happened. But do we need to look into stuff like this and actually go, the PGMOL should not be the final say for everything.
So who should be?
I don't know. Somebody in some FA committee. I have no idea.
Is it not them? The English FA?
Yeah, the PGMOL is part of the English whatever.
They're part of it, right? So that means there maybe is a body or entity higher than them. I feel like there is.
There should be. But we don't hear anything from those guys. Now, we've said this time and time again on this podcast. The officiating this season, especially this season.
That's what VR and everything. Yeah.
Especially this season. Is so disappointing. In many games, not every game, definitely. In many games, we've come back and we said, that was not good. Yeah. That was not good. And this is not something that's happening with rookie refs.
No, this is Premier League. But again,
Anthony Taylor, Michael Oliver, these guys who are supposedly England's best.
Well, England's best doesn't necessarily mean that like they're best in the world. We've talked about how like
I would be surprised if an English ref is chosen for like the UCL final.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would doubt that.
I would be very surprised.
I would doubt that.
Now in the Euros, group stages around of 16 years. But by the time you get to the final, with what England have showed us, with what the PGMOL have shown us, I don't think any of them should be refereed.
You know what's fascinating? From the few Champions League matches I've watched, so many times you hear the commentators like commending the refereeing happening. Like, oh, they got the call right, or that was good, you know. It's so many times. I don't think most of them are any of them are English.
I'm not surprised.
They're always like very like I don't know. I mean, I hear your point and I agree with you. There is a problem. There's definitely a problem.
Now, Forest might not be able to solve it on their own, but putting something like this out in the public, definitely people will come out and say, no, they shouldn't do it.
It gets people talking, 100%. I will say this though.
We are talking about it now.
That's true. 100%.
Now, what we say will make little to no difference anyway, but Howard Webb doesn't know us.
There you have it.
He won't lose sleep because two of us were speaking about what Anthony Taylor and Stuart Atwell didn't do right. So, but
my thing is this.
Yeah.
Forest are acting like they're the only club who's been affected by this stuff and nobody else.
Well, Wolves have also.
With appointing Mark Clattenburg and like doing all that stuff, like they're acting like they are the only club that's been affected so badly by this stuff. I'm sorry, but that's not true. They're in that position because...
But they haven't said they are the only club.
Listen. They're in that position because they're just not very good. Number one. Okay. Number two, they've done bad business and they've been caught for it.
Bad business.
However, with the financial fair play stuff, that's why they got points deducted. Okay. Now, whether that's true or not, or like, did they actually do bad business or not? I don't know, but like, that's the reason they got the point deductions, right? They could be higher, but who knows? I don't know. You know, like, I mean, we've talked about Everton as well, where they could have been if they had the 10-point deduction or whatever it was.
Yeah, 10 was later.
But credit to them, Everton had it far worse. They made it out. They made it out. They made it out by playing football, not appointing some referee to do something, you know.
You definitely have an issue with that.
No, but they're going about it the wrong way. Just play football. That's it. Play football. That's the answer. Show us next weekend that you can win a football match. And then we go from there. You know? Like,
I hope the PGMOL don't send them a stupid referee again.
Well, they probably will. Who's the next team they're playing? I don't know, but it'll probably be probably all 5 of them will be and the VAR, like the guys who do the replays. All of them will be the same team. Be like, you know what? Let's show you. It'll be funny if it's all Forest fans and they still lose. Oh, that would be so painful on so many levels.
They will not in any way appoint Forest fans. No, that would be sad. That would be sad.
And they still lose.
That would be sad.
See, but that's my thing. Like,
I get your point.
They're acting like they're the only club that's been affected in such a bad way. Yeah. Whereas the team that actually beat them had it far worse. They were battling relegation.
On the point deduction stuff, yes.
Yes, and they made it out. That's the thing.
No, they were battling relegation last season. This season, they've tried. They've tried to stay away from relegation.
Everton? They were battling relegation last season?
Yeah, last season. Yeah.
Well,
they survived on the last.
I'm not talking about last season. I'm talking about this season.
They spend more time out of it.
You know, like with the point deduction, that was like game over basically.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And if they were really bad team,
when the 10 points thing happened, they came all the way down. Yeah.
If they were a really bad team, they would have been like
knocked out.
That like right now we would have been like they're done.
Yeah, true.
Finished. But you know they made it out. So my point is, Forest need to get themselves together.
Do the same.
Yeah, do the same. Play football. That's all I'm saying. Play football. Like let's see. Because the thing is, if you talk all that stuff, then it goes away from football. Then it has nothing to do with football. Because if you take what they're doing with their, tweets and they're like hiring this person and doing that, if you look at the football, actually, they're just losing football matches. So like,
well, they are.
So like, I mean, granted, decisions are have gone against them.
Yeah.
So that stands. Like that's.
Funny thing, I saw the game and Clattenburg was actually in the stands.
Oh, okay. He should be.
Guy. He was in the stands.
He's their staff now, so
he was actually sitting there at Goodison Park. So he did see most of those stuff happen, like
probably
right in the moment. So but let's see how it goes. It's sometimes I feel like all this stuff is. I think you're the one who told me. Wenger said the refs are like lions in the zoo. They are well protected and all that.
He said, "When I go to heaven, I will ask Saint Peter where the referees are."
I think that's part of the problem. It's just the PGMOL won't do anything.
Yeah,
if you can bring up an issue like that before the game, that the VAR guy is a Forest fan. Sorry, a Luton fan. And nothing changes. I don't think anything will change after it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we should see the rules.
That is sad.
I feel like there should be a rule that does.
That is sad.
Because if they brought it up, that means there has
the
to be
PGMOL should have
there.
at least changed that guy.
Yeah. Should
just change it. It won't cost you anything. Swap him with somebody else.
Yep.
They're all in Stockley Park anyway.
I think this is going to be a bigger conversation once the season ends, because there have been a few things that happened, right? The ref that got the call wrong against Liverpool.
Or the Liverpool Spurs game.
Spurs.
Yeah.
He ended up being demoted like for a week, right?
Was he?
For a weekend. Somebody got demoted.
Anthony Taylor was the one.
Was that
It
him?
was Anthony Taylor who got demoted, not the guy. The guy who did the Spurs Liverpool game wasn't Taylor.
Somebody. I remember somebody got demoted.
It was
right?
Taylor for 1 week.
Bad.
And I remember saying it on this podcast. He got demoted 1 week. The following week, he came back and he refed the City Chelsea game.
Oh, yeah, that's...
And I told you that was a waste of time. That was just antics.
Yeah.
They just did that so that it won't seem like they didn't take any decision.
So all
because
of
he gave I think his own mistake was he gave a stupid penalty or so.
Yep.
I think against Wolves.
Yep. So all of these things, the world is watching, right? So what I'm saying is that all of these things I feel like will add up to get to a point where like, okay, PGMOL goes, okay, we need to look at some of this stuff because everybody's watching.
If they haven't started doing that already, then that's sad.
See,
if they need to wait till the end of the season to do that, then that's sad. Now we are not in their offices. We don't know what is.
I'm sure there are conversations happening because there's been a lot of drama. A lot of drama has happened this season.
Too much.
Considering the referees, English referees.
Too much.
So I'm sure there are conversations going on right now where they're looking at all these things, and even this tweet that New Force put out, and they're looking at it going,
yeah, for sure they will look into it. I think they'll do the whole official statement of we are investigating the report, blah blah blah. All the stuff that just PR stuff. We know that.
Yeah,
they will do that. They'll find a way to defend Taylor and Atwell because those were decisions they made. They appointed those officials for that game.
Yep.
They'll find a way to defend it.
Yep.
And then they'll find a way to do, okay, we'll look and see if anything Forest is saying has any weight.
Yep.
Hopefully, they won't find a way where the English FA would then fine Forest and say for inappropriate whatever. They'll just find some PR stuff. And Forest will most likely get fined.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's see.
Most likely will get fined.
Maybe not. Let's see. I feel like there will be some changes. And if there aren't, then I'm sure the clubs will, come together and push.
I hope they do.
For some changes. So anyway, but we will see.
Yeah, let's move. We've spoken about this for too long. None of us are Forest fans anyway.
That's true.
But it's just for the love of the game.
It is, yeah. I mean, and also refereeing. I think refereeing needs to be looked at.
Well, it did affect Chelsea. If the Grealish handball had been given,
See, so like
the
this,
game would have been a little different.
There are some things that need to
It
be
affects everybody.
looked at a little bit. Anyway, but I think that's pretty much it.
That's a good way to end.
Is there anything else?
Now we just have to preview the big game on Tuesday.
Yes.
Arsenal play Chelsea.
That's right.
At the Emirates.
That's right.
Arsenal still in the title race, something to fight for. Chelsea have nothing to fight for. Out of all the tournaments, out of the FA Cup, lost the Carabao Cup final, not in Europe, 9th on the table. So I think the only thing they might hope for is one way or the other, won't be qualifying for Europe. But for Europe, not Champions League. Maybe Conference League, if they can.
I mean, even that would be a good start.
Thursday night football is all right. It's better than nothing anyway.
True.
I think for the team, though, is hopefully for a squad as big as it was at the end of last season, before they allowed most of the guys leave, having another tournament will have been cool. So let's see. I feel like definitely Arsenal have much more to fight for, so I expect Arsenal to win. But as I said, I would not be in any way opposed to Chelsea going to the Emirates and helping you guys drop some points. I would not be opposed to that.
Of course, you're like that Arsenal hater.
I am not an Arsenal hater.
Don't even.
I'm just here for that good stuff.
That's it.
I'm just here for
enough.
that good
Enough
stuff.
of you. Enough of you. It'll be a good match, though. I'm expecting a good match.
I just hope the way Chelsea got knocked out by City in the FA Cup semi-final doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Because if they had gotten knocked out by a team that were totally better than they were, had much more chances than they had, that would have been different. But they got knocked out after a game where they had the better chances. They should have won.
Yep.
We could all see even Thiago Silva was in tears at the end.
Ooh. Well, that's a good point.
Also because I think he's
probably leaving.
This is his final year on the contract.
Yeah.
He's 39. I don't think Chelsea will give him another year. Is he experienced? Yes, but he's not. His body's...
He's human.
Yes. I know. So I feel like the tears were not just that they lost the game, but that was his last hope for a trophy this season. That's also gone. Not just this season, maybe as a Chelsea player.
You think he'll retire after this?
No.
Think he'll still keep going for a bit?
He could go play in Brazil or something for a while.
Okay.
But I don't think he would retire. I'll be surprised if he retires at the end of the season.
Okay.
I think he would only retire if he doesn't get an offer that he and his family feel like is worth it. Yeah. Because at his age, to keep going for training and doing all of that, it's still taking a toll on him.
Yeah.
So it has to be worth it.
Yeah.
To keep doing it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Arsenal, I feel like are in a really good position. It's actually, I think, putting the pressure on Liverpool and City. So let's see what happens. I think City still have the easiest fixtures.
Yeah.
So they should keep on going. But I don't know, 2 draws and maybe things will change. Let's see. On that note, as Judah has now, I've left Judah speechless. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And thanks for sticking with us and listen to the conversation. And let us know what you thought about all the crazy and weird and I don't know what else. Yeah. All the things that are happening in football. But anyway.
Especially the Forest.
Especially the Forest stuff. Yeah, like if you have any thoughts, put it in the comments.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it from us, yeah?
It is.
Alrighty. See you.